Welcome to all. The next scheduling algorithm is round robin. So this is one of the important scheduling algorithm, and you can expect more questions or more problems on this particular algorithm. Okay, because you have something called time slice or quantum here, time quantum. So I will explain what is it, and we will give some problems also for that, so that you can visualize, and while solving the problems you will get more idea on this particular algorithm. Okay, the round robin or RR scheduling algorithm is designed especially for a time sharing system. So if the systems are trying to share the time or share the slice. Say for example, you are in a queue or the systems are in a queue, and each and every system has got its own time slot. At that time, it has to work, means at that time you can go for this round robin scheduling. It is one of the algorithm. It is just one of the algorithm available for scheduling. Okay, so it is similar to FCFS scheduling, but the preemption is added to switch between the process. So the steps or the solution or the working of that algorithm is the same as FCFS. But in FCFS, whatever the algorithms we have seen in the previous videos, what was it? So it used non-preemptive one, isn't it? So whenever that one process went to that particular CPU, until and unless it finishes it will never leave the system. So that is the reason why the average waiting time or the final column was to find out the waiting time, isn't it? Separate value will be there for waiting time, isn't it? So why? Because if the burst time of a particular process is 2, even though it is 2, if the arrival time is also earlier, but if there are any ongoing processor which are running in the system, definitely this particular process has to wait. Fine. So again, there is a variation in the waiting time, because if the work is very small but still it has to wait, means definitely it is not efficient, that much efficient, but that algorithm is required. In one or the other scenario you can implement that particular algorithm. Fine. So here it is okay, it is similar to FCFS. So it is going to switch between the processes. A small unit of time called time quantum or slice or time slot or time slice, okay, is defined. In round robin you have something called time slice or time slot. Within that slot, each and every process will be given with some time slot. It has to run till there, and if the work is not finished, again it has to go to queue, and after the execution of some other process, again it can use the CPU. It is something like that. Fine. While solving the problem, you are going to get the better idea. I will explain. No, don't worry. Time quantum is generally from 10 to 100 milliseconds. So the measures or the unit they have taken here is milliseconds. So it ranges from 10 to 100 milliseconds. The ready queue is treated as circular queue. So there is a concept called circular queue. So I don't know whether you have gone for a data structure or not. Okay, in data structure you have something called stack, queues, linked list, or circular queue. So circular queue is nothing but it is nothing but, as the name says, it is in a circular form. But obviously it will be, all the processes will be in that particular fashion, circular fashion. So until and unless it finishes everything, it won't leave the queue. It will be keep on rolling there itself. That is the meaning. Okay, the CPU scheduler goes around the ready queue, allocating the CPU to each process for a time interval up to 1 time quantum. Say for example, here you can visualize something like that. Say there are 5 processes in a queue, and each and every process is given with a time slot of 2 unit or 2, say for example 20 milliseconds or 50 milliseconds, something like that. It is better to say that time unit. It is, instead of going for milliseconds, it will be confusing one. You can think of time unit or time quantum or time slot. That is better. 2 time slot. What is the meaning? Each and every process can take 2 time slot. Even though its burst time is more, it can only take 2 time slot, and it can reduce its burst time at that time. Say for example, one process, say P1, process P1, the burst time of P1 is, say for example, 7 burst time of process P1 is 7. But in round robin, if you are taking the time quantum and the fixed time quantum is 2, that means this P1 can take or execute only for 2 units, and it has to move aside and it has to keep itself in a particular queue. Now after executing 2 unit, what will be the burst time of that P1? 7 minus 2. Now the next cycle it will use 5 units 5 units. Okay, again it will come back to the CPU after some time. It will execute for 2 units and it will again go for the ready queue. Why? Because total burst time was 5 and it can be only executed up to 2 units. Now 5 minus 2, now the P1, the new burst time of P1 is 3 units. Something like that. Okay, so while solving the problem, you will definitely get to know that. But the scenario is something like that. The concept of time quantum works in that fashion. Fine. Okay, to implement RR scheduling, we keep the ready queue as a FIFO queue of the processes. What is FIFO? FIFO is nothing but first in, first out. Whoever comes first, they will go out first. That means after the service or after giving the service, it will go out. It will not wait for the queue. Sorry. Fine. So next, the new processes are added to the tail of the ready queue. So whatever the new processes which are arriving to that particular system for the execution, it will be kept in a tail side, not in a head side. Tail side means in the back. Fine. The CPU scheduler picks the first process from the ready queue, sets a timer to interrupt after one time quantum and dispatches the process. So in the previous example, I have taken 2 units or 2 time slot or 2 slots. But here in this example, they have taken 1 time slot. That means if the processes have the burst time 5, then that process will come to that execution or CPU 5 times, because once it can take only 1 time quantum, isn't it? Sorry. Fine. So like that it will work. Okay. Sorry. So one of the 2 things that will happen, you have to take that particular example. The process may have a CPU burst of less than 1 time quantum. So in this case, the process itself will release the CPU voluntarily. If the time quantum is less than 1 unit, isn't it? So if the CPU has got more time, means it will be more. Just a moment. Okay, pardon for the interruption. The process may have a CPU burst of less than 1 time quantum, means definitely it will release the CPU voluntarily. That is also possible, isn't it? The process may not require a complete 1 time quantum. It may completely finish its work and it can voluntarily come out from the queue. That also possible. That also can be one scenario in the system. Okay, the scheduler will then proceed to the next processes in the ready queue. Okay, say for example, let me give one example here. Okay, say you are standing in a queue to withdraw the money, say for example in front of ATM. Okay, so you want 500 rupees. Fine. So the time taken to calculate and dispatch the money will be lesser than the person who is standing to take or withdraw the money of, say for example, 45,000. Fine. He has to say in some ATMs only up to 25,000 you can withdraw at a time. Again, you have to put the card and you have to continue the process. Or in some ATMs, once you put the card at a time, you can take only 25,000, and it will ask again without putting the card, without inserting the card, it will ask whether you want to continue your withdrawal or not. Something like that. Fine. So at that time, whatever the time slot, say for example, each and every person is given with the time slot of say for example 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, you will finish your work, because you need only 500 rupees. You insert the card, you put your password, you withdraw with the, say for example, with 1 minute in 1 minute you are going to get the money, and you are coming out voluntarily. You will come out. But if the person who is trying to take withdraw 45,000 from the ATM, he has to put the card, he has to put his password, he has to type, say for example 25,000, the vending machine will calculate 25,000. It will give the money. Again, in some cases, again he has to put the card. Again he has to put the password and put the amount, and he has to. So maybe in that scenario he requires, say for example, 4 minutes. But the time given for each and every person is only 2 minutes. What he has to do, once he take the 25,000, within 2 minutes he has to come out of the ATM room, and he has to wait in a queue again, because the next person will go and he will execute. He will go for the withdrawal. Maybe he may require more than 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes or only 2 minutes. Fine. Now what will be the next time? What will be the person who has withdrawn only 25,000? Again he need 2 more minutes for the again for going for 20,000 more, isn't it? Because ultimately he requests 45,000. Can you imagine the scenario? It is something like that. Round robin also works in the same fashion. Fine. So you will, don't worry, the example, even though you don't get the idea of the example, whenever you solve it manually you can solve, or I will upload the video, you can see, and you can see how exactly I have gone for the solution. At that time you will get the better picture. Okay, no need to worry much. But ultimately you have to remember that whenever you talk about a round robin, there is a concept of time quantum or time slice or time slot. Each and every process will be given with its own time slot. Fine. Now next point is, otherwise if the CPU burst of the currently running process is longer than one time quantum, the timer will go off and will cause an interrupt to the operating system. The context switch will be executed and the process will be put at the tail of the ready queue. The CPU scheduler will then select the next process in the ready queue. The same thing with respect to example I have given. So they have gone for standard set of sentences. Fine. So there is a concept of context switch. So if after a particular time quantum, the process will be put to the tail, and the next process will be executed. And this cycle continues until unless the process finishes its complete execution or overall execution. Fine. This is how this scenario works. The last point is, the performance of the RR algorithm or round robin algorithm depends heavily on the size of the time quantum. Because if you have more time quantum, definitely this processes coming to the ready queue will be reduced, isn't it? Because say for example, in the same ATM examples, if each and every person has given with the time of 5 minutes, definitely the 500 rupees who is going to take the money, he also executes earlier. The person who is going for 45,000 withdrawal, he also completes its work, isn't it? Because he need only 4 minutes. And each and every person is given with 5 minutes. So within 4 minutes, 45,000 he will withdraw and he will come out of the ATM room. But say for example, the person who has to change the password, who has to generate the password, say for example, the person has taken new ATM card, then he has to go to inside the ATM, he has to generate the password, OTP will come or password will come to his registered mobile number, he has to put there, he has to change the password, he has to check the balance, then he has to withdraw the money, then he has to come out of the ATM room. Means definitely he requires more than 5 minutes. At that time what happens? After some particular work, forcefully he have to come. After 5 minutes he has to come out of the room and he has to wait in the line again to continue his next work. So something like that, you have to think in that fashion. Okay, so obviously the time quantum plays a major role in round robin algorithm. At one extreme, if the time quantum is very large, the RR policy is the same as the FCFS policy. Yes. Say for example, time quantum is 100 means 100 slot or 100 unit means, definitely the process which has which requires a minimum time of execution, there is no meaning, isn't it? It is same as FCFS itself, whatever the problems you have solved in a previous video or have seen in the previous video. So it will be same, something like that only. If the time quantum is very small, again there is a problem. The RR approach is called processor sharing, because each and every time if the processes are coming to ready queue, means it is something like a continuous work. There will be heavy work for the processors for the context switching, isn't it? So that's why they say that it is a processor sharing, and appears to the users as though each of n processors has its own processor running at 1 by n the speed of the real processor. It is something like keep on context switching means it is something like each and every processor will be given with its own processor. It will virtually or theoretically it will think like that. Fine. So this is some of the points which you have to remember. Say, okay, so I will upload 2 more videos, one video for SJF and priority scheduling, and one more is for round robin, because I will put separate video for round robin because it's somewhat different from rest of the algorithm. So you should not get confused. That's why. So whatever the algorithm solved example I upload in the YouTube, please take a pen and paper, try to solve it. You can take your own values. See, I have taken some values which is already available in the internet. Okay, and just for the cross verification purpose, instead of manually doing, just for the cross verification purpose, I have taken the same example. You can take any values, try to solve it. If you get any error, get the photo or screenshot of it and come to me. I will help you out in solving the problem. You can send the picture. Fine. So this is one, and I hope you have 1 or 2 more algorithms, I guess. I will make a separate video of it. As of now, you just think this much. So this is again a theoretical concept. You have to remember this theoretical concept, or it is just points which you have to remember. Fine. So whenever the question arises in the exam, you can pull out these points in the paper. That's it. But mainly concentrate on problems. Again and again, I would like to say this. Fine. So let me wind up here. This algorithm is this much. I will in the next video I will show you how exactly you can solve the problems. Fine. Yes. Thanks for watching.